Test, test. Ah, that's it, the headphones. I might have to just do some testing. Alright, hold on. Check, check, check. Yeah, it's not. I believe that's because these headphones are considered dual headphones. They're also ones that have a microphone. So I'll have to troubleshoot that. We'll probably just play this episode without headphones. And I'll just have to double check the VOD after to make sure it's working a-okay. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another episode of Stormer Show. As you can tell from the title, I have decided to, of course, stream Phoenix Wright next. Trials and Tribulations, as you can tell from the episode title. And I figure this will buy me time while I'm still trying to figure out what direction to take with Resident Evil. Am I going to do a second playthrough of Resident Evil? Ideally, I'd like to complete RE3 in time for the Steam Summer Sale, so I'll have to see when that is. And what I might do is then do a second playthrough of Resident Evil 2. I don't know. But yeah, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney to help buy me time. Okay. You guys should be able to see it now. As well as the inside of my closet. Alright, hopefully it's not too loud. I don't think it is. It's definitely not loud on my computer. But that's intentional because I have somewhat sensitive hearing. Alright, episode 1. Turnabout Memories. There. Okay, sorry, I was having a hard time seeing. Alright, here we go. Turnabout Memories. Oh shoot, I forgot there's no voice acting in this game. How did I get into this mess? Why? Why did I do that? Phoenix, right? That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. Phoenix, what did you do? And why are you wearing that? It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Okay, so who was it, Phoenix? 5 years earlier, Mia Fey. Is it Mia or Maya? Mia. Mia, because as we recall, there is another character called Maya. April 11th, 9:40 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. It's finally time. I'm kind of nervous. This is Mia, not Maya. All that like psychic stuff from the last game kind of weirded me out, and made it. I don't know. It's both confusing and kind of lame. Oh, sorry, that's her. Oh, Mr. Grosberg, good morning. So they have some return characters from Ace Attorney in this. As you might recall, this guy, I believe, was in Ace Attorney, as well as Mia. Ah, Mia, please calm yourself down. Going to get yourself arrested. Hannah, I had to do the voices. I had to remember, there's no voice acting. Get yourself arrested for suspicious behavior. What are you talking about? I'm relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me, I'm relaxed. He was her mentor, as you might recall. Let go of my lapels. Honestly, haven't got the temperament to be a lawyer. I'm so sorry. Just that I'm so nervous today. Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Oh, never you fear, my dear. I'm Marvin Grossberg and at your service. Actually, this is my second time in court. Still, you surprised me with your earnest request last night. Ooh la la. I'm just kidding. Let me handle this case, you suddenly said. And quite forcefully, too. I just found out yesterday about the case, I mean. Watch, now you've already learned all the relevant facts? Well, about that, you see, I mean, of course I have, I think. Oh dear. In any case, don't let our client seem so nervous. You see the poor young man in the pink sweater over there? That's our client. Phoenix? Phoenix, this isn't COVID times. You don't need that mask. Good morning there, everybody. What? This is a younger Phoenix, right? Good morning. Trying to keep smiling, Mia. Yeah, Mia. I have to make sure I'm not saying Maya. I just want to say, I'll give it all I got. Yep, it'll be fine. No problem. Achoo! His mask keeps falling off. What good is the mask that doesn't stay on, Phoenix? Oh, what's wrong? Do you have a cold or something, Mr. Wright? It's Mr. Wright. Actually, it's Wright. Like the Flying Brothers, people screw it up all the time. And yes, I have a cold. That's what this mask is for. My dog says, this way I won't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says. Sorry, just someone driving a very loud vehicle outside. Right, Mr. Wright, you have nothing to fear in court today. I actually might want to close my window, but it's fine. You're truly innocent. I promise I'll save you. And Mia is actually Phoenix's mentor. So either this is before he became a lawyer, or at the same time, something like that. Please, let go of my shirt. That's right, he's the one on trial, not you. He's the one who should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. This must have been early in Mia's career. My name is Mia Fey. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. First time I appeared in court was a year ago. But that trial traumatized me so badly I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. Sadly, Mia dies in the first one. And she comes back to possess people in the second one. It was, again, all very strange. Like, she came back as like a spirit that would possess people, and then they take her form when she possesses them. Again, it's all very weird. It's been 1 year since then, and well, here I am again. But this time I'm going to win. So, presumably this is before she died. For my client and for myself. Perhaps earlier in her lawyer career. April 11th, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court Courtroom. There's Mia. Court's now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Oh wow, she's really young here. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. And a younger Payne, too. He's rocking that 70s hairdo. Alright. The defense today is Miss Mia Fey, was it? I try my best to get the voices, guys. As you probably know from watching my other Phoenix series, I'm not the best when it comes to voice work. Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem? I try to portray Mia similarly to Phoenix because she's like she's almost like a heroine in a way. She's like supposed to be his like mentor. I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg was to be leading the defense. Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency. Emergency? Isn't that him standing there right next to you? Yes, well, you're just a rookie. Are you sure you can really handle this? Don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest luck. Of course, Your Honor. I think. Yeah, Mia eventually will come to your aid as a lawyer in some of your cases. She'll give you input and feedback. will kind of guide your questioning in the other games. Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please. Well, well, well. I can't believe a veteran like me has to spend his time babysitting a new defense lawyer. As he plays with his hair. Don't worry, little girl. We'll all be over soon. And Payne is always the first trial in every game. He's the first trial in Ace Attorney, he's the first trial in Justice for All, and he's the first trial in Trials and Tribulations. What was that all about? Is he trying to trash talk me? Now then, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named Doug Swallow. He was a fourth-year student studying pharmacology. I'm trying my best to remember his voice. Sounds like he was a very bright young man. Yes, well, next we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime. Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body. And the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway. They then called the police. That certainly makes the defendant look very suspicious. But this is maybe when Phoenix was attending lawyer school. Very well. The court accepts this photo into the record as evidence. And photo number 1, the crime took place behind an IBU building. Add to the court record, by the way. Can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo. It's hard for me to say how much I'll try to rely on the guide in this one. I was definitely relying on it a lot in the last game, only because they threw so many curveballs. It wasn't easy to tell what to present and when. Reputation for sagacity is well earned, Your Honor. The truth is that this victim died a rather unusual death. An unusual death? What do you mean, Mr. Payne? Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question. Huh? A simple question. I thought I might loosen you up a bit. I'm a genteel man, if you will. What? Stand up to him, yeah. Show him what you're made of. A perfect opportunity. Well, what was it? The cause. Go on. So now Grossberg is serving as your mentor. This is pretty cool. Please say you know at least this much. I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file. My hemorrhoids are beginning to act. Now see here. Details of this case are filed under the court record. But you knew that already, didn't you? Ah, the court record. I think I can see that by pressing tab. All the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good hard look at the data there and think carefully before you answer, my dear. Yes, sir. I'll do just that. Gotta stay calm. Can't let that prosecutor get the better of me. Court record. Okay, let's take a look. I'll just press tab here. Will the attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death? Okay, it's right bumper. Okay. And what's interesting is there are more tutorial elements in this game than there were, I feel like, in Justice for All. Justice for All, they kind of like throw you in, and there was a decent amount of tutorial in Ace Attorney as well, but this is actually nice. Like, it's nice enough level of detail, and they're not throwing a bunch of evidence at you that frankly has nothing to do with anything. The crime took place behind an IBU building. Proof of my profession. The first and last time I wore it was a year ago. That was autopsy, so this is her second case. Date and time of death, 4/9 at 3 p.m. Cause of death was a fatal electric shock. Crime took place behind the building. Fatal electric shock. Electrocution. According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock. In other words, electrocution. Electrocution? How could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new super powerful stun gun, perhaps? The answer to that will become crystal clear as this trial proceeds, Your Honor. Before that, there's one more vital issue. What's that? Why, motive, of course. Apparently, there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant. Bad blood? What do you mean? Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this. I really don't like this guy's smooth attitude. I have too much in pain for you. Here's one smooth operator. You catch my breath. Yeah, he's been around for a while, and all these characters were in the original game, Ace Attorney. They just weren't as young as they are here. They don't call him the rookie killer for nothing. No. Oh, jeez. I never thought he was that good of a lawyer. Like, even like Von Karma, I think was a better lawyer. Actually, she was undefeated, and she was also like the youngest lawyer. No, let's hear from the defense. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? This time, I would like to see some supporting evidence. Evidence? I don't need to get all worked up on this. As I said, all weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need and then shove it in the old graybeard's face. Yes, sir. Into old graybeard's face. Mr. Grossberg. I already set a better example for the young lady. Yeah, evidence isn't the only thing in court record. People's profiles are as well. We toggle between profiles and evidence with tabs, so be sure to go over well. Now then, let's see what you've got. What was the cause of the bad blood between Phoenix, Wright, and the victim? This was it. Dahlia Hawthorne. Phoenix Wright's girlfriend dated the victim, Doug Swallow, up until 8 months ago. We'll call that some friendly fire. Doug Swallow, age 22, the victim. He was a fourth-year pharmacology student at Ivy University. Phoenix Wright is my client, third-year art student at Ivy University. He currently has a cold. Oh, wow. And then Winston Payne, the prosecutor for this trial, a veteran lawyer with a little too much confidence. This is Dahlia. Reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here. Dahlia Hawthorne, is it? Very good, Miss Payne. She may have picked up on at least this much. As he plays with her. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow. Clearly, she has some part to play in the story. Yes, He's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, be ready. He's already got the judge thinking like he wants. Very well, Mr. Payne. Please call your first witness. If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright. What, the defendant himself? Well, Miss Payne? It's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? Don't always presume innocence, just like you should not presume guilt. We don't know yet who the culprit is, so I'd say keep an open mind. The defense has no objection. Very well. Court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand. It should not automatically assume that your client is innocent. Even if your client tells you that they're innocent, you still shouldn't fully take it with a grain of salt, yeah. Yes, please state your name and occupation. Oh, yes, my name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect. No, he means what did you do before you were arrested? Oh, achoo. I was a university student. Mr. Wright, you understand that you are suspected in the death of your fellow student, Doug Swallow. But I didn't do it. I'm innocent, I tell you. And you always, achoo. The defendant, please refrain from passing on his cold to the rest of us. It seems the witness has something he wants to say. Well then, Mr. Wright, please tell us about your relation to the victim. Right away, Your Honor. The victim and I, witness testimony. I admit I was there. But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. His mask keeps falling off. Like I said, the pandemic is over, Phoenix. You can put the mask in the trash. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. And interestingly, Phoenix is himself on this witness stand. For the first time in the series. Usually he's the one who is asking the questions. He's the one who's pressing all the witnesses. Hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Obviously not true. Did talk to him, we saw that in the introduction. I see, so you already knew the victim. Right, like I said, I'm not a killer. Looks like the judge understands. Too naive, you know. Too naive. Huh? Seems that you've forgotten one small thing, young lady. And that would be... This witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination. Cross-examination? He's right. It's the defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if any witness's testimony contains any contradictions. Contradictions? If the witness is lying, their statements will conflict with the court record. Yes. Mr. Wright is... Sorry, but Mr. Wright is my client. Even if he is your client, all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty. Yes. What does he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now, if there was a lie, a contradiction? Now then, your cross-examination. Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. Please tell me they're not going to bring back the Cyclops in this game. Like, you wouldn't do that to me, would you? And it's kind of an interesting direction they took with this game, because again, this is before the events of the original Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. The Victim and I. I admit I was there, but I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. So we want to press everything and then present when the opportunity arises. You're going to be careful when you do present evidence, because if you present evidence that is not correct, I should say, if you object with evidence that is not correct, you will be penalized, essentially. So yeah, that's why you press everything and then you present when you're fully aware of the facts. When you say there, you mean the place where the victim was murdered. Yeah, sort of. The place where something happened in it. Objection! Something. You can't hide what happened. We have photographic evidence. Achoo! Anyway, Mr. Wright, what were you doing at the scene of the crime? Well, you said you didn't know the victim, Mr. Swallow. I mean, they could have been there and they may not have known each other. That's totally possible. It's just a coincidence. We bumped into each other by accident. A coincidence, huh? But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. Hold it. You say you found the body, so who called the police? You might have been the one who called them. Fortunately, it was some other students that notified the police. Other students? That's correct. They were witnesses. Witnesses who saw the defendant standing there next to the body in shock. What? Is this true, Mr. Wright? Achoo. Can you stop sneezing every time you're blind? Well, it's true that I was pretty shocked when I found the body. But I hardly knew that guy to begin with. So you didn't know his face or even his name, right? Right. Well, no. That is, I mean, so which is it? Do you know him or not? Shoot. Now see here, you can't avoid answering the question by sneezing all day. Well, I guess I did know his name. News to me. Why didn't you tell me that before? I heard he used to date Dolly. Who is this Dolly person? Ah yes, that would be the defendant's lover. This is Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, I see. Ah, young love, so bittersweet. That's all I knew about it. Never even talked to this stuck-up British woman. Hold it. Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. In the past game, they'd actually penalize you for pressing them, too. It was very strange. That's right, I mean, why would I even... That doesn't sound right. You hardly knew him, then why would you say that the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? You also know more about him than you originally let on. That's even better than you let on. Well, Mr. Wright? No, it wasn't me. I'm not a killer, I swear. Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How was it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe? Yes, well... He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Hold it. Of course, did you see it at the crime scene, the Union Jack, I mean? Yes, that's right. I saw it at the crime scene. That's why I figured he must love British stuff, see? It's true, cross my heart. I swear I didn't do it. He's acting fishier than the salmon I ate last night. May I ask you something, Miss Betty? Yes, Your Honor. What is it now? Who's this person, anyway? This Union Jack fellow. Union Jack is the name of the United Kingdom's flag. Oh, I see. You mean like the stars and stripes, right? As usual, Your Honor. Your insight astounds me. Something just occurred to me. Isn't there something strange about this bit just now? Yeah, there's a contradiction here. Mr. Grosberg. Quickly now, show what that boy you mean business. With evidence, I mean. Okay, Mia, check the court record carefully. My dear, do you think you can manage on your own from this point? I kind of want to say I need some help just because I don't know why I would. Oh, please don't look so sad. It brings a tear to my eye. I don't want to have to do the rest of the case on my own. By comparing the testimony to the court record, you'll be able to discover any contradictions there are. When you found one, you present a piece of evidence that contradicts the witness's testimony. Yes, that's the ticket. But still, I don't see any contradictions in Mr. Wright's testimony. Ah, itchy nose. Maybe you don't have enough information yet. Information? You can press for more information by leading on a witness. Even if they're my own client. It doesn't matter who it is. If they're lying, press them like a cheap shoe. It's just the obligation of an attorney. Okay, me one more time from the very beginning of his testimony. So we could present this. There is nothing on the back of his shirt. So that is a contradiction. Objection! Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back. Miss Frey, is there some point to this line of questioning? Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back. Hey, wait a minute. He's wearing a leather jacket. The Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing. I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that was really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me. Please forgive me, Wayne. This is such a strange side of Phoenix. Yeah, you made up crying for me. Touch him. Key on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyways. Can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright was all wrong. That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear that this man does not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime. Uh-oh, did I go too far? By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it? Yeah, I took some, but... Is the medicine that you took over the counter a brand called Cold Killer X? Yeah, that's right. Kills colds good. Hey, wait a second. How did you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X? You happen to have that medicine with you right now. Well, actually, I seem to have lost it somewhere. You lost it? Does this even have anything to do with the case? Mr. Wright, shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now? Huh? I took it out of your pocket. I'd like you to take a look at another photo from the crime scene. What's this? Victim's hand. It's Cold Killer X. Fiction. Why would you object? Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment. Fiction. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that an argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to. Especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it. How would you know that? Do you have evidence that we don't have? Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine, dropped by Mr. Wright, and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright. Order in court. Get it for the first time in this game. Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence. About time. Very well. The court will accept the record. Crime photo 2 added to the record. The victim watch stopped at the time of death. Cold Killer X added the record found clutched in the victim's hand, covered in Wright's fingerprint. So the victim's wristwatch was broken. Broken? Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. All this right? You have some kind of explanation for all this? It does say he was electrocuted, so this is really bad. My poor hemorrhoids. Keep it cool, Grossberg. Keep it cool, man. What really happened? The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so he agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3 o'clock, we split up. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I've been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days. I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. It's correct. That's completely different from the testimony you gave previously. Shoot. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth. But forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible. Please begin your cross-examination. Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell any more lies. He should know what really happened. Honesty is the best policy. Truth is, I went because he called me. He's in the pharmacology department. Okay. Press this. Had you ever met the victim before then? No, never. But that day he called me up and told me he wanted to talk about Dolly. And this Dolly person is my, it's kind of embarrassing. She's my, sweetheart. Just think she's his girlfriend. It's not a big deal. What was that for, man? Oh. I'm so sorry. I just felt like slapping something all of a sudden. Dahlia Hawthorne was also the lover of the murder victim, Doug Swan. Where she met Mr. Wright, that is. So it was one of those nasty love triangles. Although it was 8 months ago, so... again, I'm not sure this was a crime of passion. It doesn't seem like it was. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both there right on time. You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct? Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU. An alchemist, I see. Gotta admit, it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run on high-voltage electricity. Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man. What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details. If I can figure this out on my own. About the timing of the meeting or the pharmacology department. Maybe the department, because that could help to explain why he had Cold Killer X. He died at 3 p.m. I mean, really, I could ask him about either one. So you're absolutely certain that you met at 2:45. Pretty sure that's the time class ends. We're always doing some experiments, so it doesn't matter much. Experiments? Yeah, those pharmacology guys are always in the lab looking up something. Looks like he's right about the time anyway. Witness, let's get on with your testimony. I think I'd like to press him again, and... I'll ask him about the department. I wonder if you could tell us about the pharmacology department. Sure, I don't know all that much though. A little bit earlier in your testimony you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. That's right, and they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high voltage cables everywhere. Okay, high voltage cables. Yeah, there were electrical poles set up all around the building. High voltage cables run around overhead around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. We talked for a bit, then at around 3 o'clock we split up. Hold it. What was it you were talking about? You know, that maybe we should hang out again sometime. If that were true. When I went back, I found one there. You say you went back? Yeah, that's when I found the body. Yes, but why did you go back in the first place? Weren't you angry with him? Well, that's right, I was. And why, Mr. Wright? Why did you go back there? I thought maybe we could make up. Shoot, judging by the atmosphere, I'm pretty sure no one's buying this. Been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days. Rather unusual to catch a cold this time of year, isn't it? Yeah, I always get a little careless when the weather starts to warm up. Guess I shouldn't sleep with the window open this early in the spring. I suppose common sense is not as common. So, did anyone else know that you were taking cold medicine? I always took one after meals. I'm pretty sure all my friends knew about it. I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. The day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? What does that have to do with anything? I'll never be too sure. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious, just like Lucky Charms. Ouch. Why'd you punch me in the jaw? Oh, so sorry. I think that's enough for me. The defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of his death. They met at 2:45. He died at 3. So there's a 15-minute discrepancy there. He also was electrocuted. So that seems to cast doubt on the entire Phoenix was the killer theory. Then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason. Not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine ball either. Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. The testimony cannot be trusted. What do you mean? It was too much work for a little girl. Whatever, there's one mystery that still remains. There is, Your Honor? How the murder was carried out, of course. Possible it was an accident. I would say I'd say pretty much in every case of someone being electrocuted, it's almost always the case that it was an accident or a natural phenomenon. I'd say practically no electrocution victims are murders. Practically none. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct? Oh, that is, you are correct, Your Honor. How exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. Can't right now or establish a murder method. I think I can, right? We know he was electrocuted. Yes, Mr. Wright? I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died. That would be most impressive. Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. Even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court. Yes. An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence. Of course I know that. Actually, I had totally forgotten about that. Now then, Miss Fay, see what you got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted. Do I really not have the evidence? I guess I don't have the evidence. Something about the pharmacology department. Miss Fay, I'm deeply disappointed. I'm disappointed as well, Miss Fay, so I guess I had to say the other option. To be honest, I'm a bit disappointed too, dear. Shoot. I need to use my brain on this. Come on. It's right down here. I don't think there's any other evidence. Unless it's in the photo. Ah, okay. That makes sense. As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well. What? There's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Faye, where exactly in the store was the murder weapon? Not a murder weapon at all. Take that. Well, naturally, it's right here. That's... What is that? Severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor. An open power line. Remember the testimony we've heard. The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage. Because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere. Yeah, that seems safe. So then the high voltage cable. Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That's the most likely explanation. That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, I believe some praise is in order. Don't toy with me, old man. Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was the defendant. That much is certainly true. Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was a murderer. But what is it? His fingerprints. Again, if the person is electrocuted, it is practically impossible for them to have been murdered. You mean that the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle? Take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. As you may know, leather holds fingerprints quite well. Ah, you mean... Yes, it's quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. Palm print of the defendant's very own hand. What? I don't think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder, he squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable. And it could have been an accident. Definitely possible. Order! That's enough. We can conclude that there is no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Knuckle Forkers, we're done. Mr. Grosberg, my hemorrhoids never lie. Show's over me. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him. No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright's innocent. No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt. Run. At this time, I'm prepared to render a verdict in this case. Hold it. Mia? You have something further to add, Miss Faye? Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth, the whole truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be... It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Faye, no matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you, and I'll represent you to the very end. Objection! We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything. Wait a minute. Mr. Wright. I'll tell you what really happened. Objection! Actually, he hasn't established anything. He made a theory about how it happened, but again, it could have been an accident. I mean, there are other possible explanations for how he died. I already told you, Mr. Wright. There's no need for further... I did it. It was me. Admit it. I pushed him. It's my fault. My fault that Doug Swallow crashed into an open power line and got electrocuted. It was hanging down. It's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen, there's something you need to know about that girl. Because that's Doug saying that. And then that's Phoenix responding. Don't talk about her like that. think you would know too. If that did kill him, I think you would know. What you just said, was that the truth? Yes, I was afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure. I think even if that were the case in real life, it would have been at worst involuntary manslaughter. And even then, again, I really don't know what the legal ramifications are of this, because anyone could have bumped into that open power line. Like, those things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are. Please, give me one more chance to explain. This time, I swear, I'll tell the whole truth. I'll be okay, won't it, Miss Vay? I believe in you, right? Thank you. I can't believe it. You really did push the victim. It was like my hemorrhoids doing the Harlem Shake. Alright, calm down, Grosberg. Jeez Louise. When I pushed the victim, witness testimony. It's nice they're not penalizing me. I mean, I guess this is considered the tutorial, so they're not penalizing me in the tutorial. That's nice. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. And I couldn't take it. Actually, you probably should have just listened to him and seen what he had to say, because really he didn't say anything. He was just somewhat making the claim that you shouldn't have been with her, but you didn't really understand what his reason was for saying that, and so it's not clear. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. That moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. I went back, but he was just lying there, dead. I mean, if he was electrocuted, I think it would have happened when Phoenix was still there. I don't think Phoenix would have had time to leave if he was electrocuted the minute he hit the ground or whatever. And I'd say the university is equally responsible in that case because, like, again, open power lines, like, anyone could bump into that. Actually, anyone could. The explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Fall flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock. And that, as they say, is that. Simple explanation indeed. At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. But from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it. That's true. Even a doofus like him could miss that. So what is he doing next to the electrical power line? Was he moved or something? That's right. Let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield me new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear on that? Yes, Your Honor. Don't give up, Mia. If he's innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. So this is definitely fishy. Hold it. So what kind of things did Mr. Swallow say to you? He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. He said that she was a bad girl. Means like, okay. Is that all? Yep. And you pushed him because of that. I think it says more about you than about him, Mr. Wright. Oh, Miss Ray, you've heard him yourself. Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is. It still seems like a very unusual way to die. After he said that, I just lost my temper and gave him a shove. That doesn't make sense. Can you tell me about what happened in more detail? That guy, he just said what he wanted to say to me. Don't mean you need to listen. You're supposed to be in college, for crying out loud. Like, this is something I would maybe expect from, like, elementary age students. Like, maybe. Like, maybe kindergarten or first grade. Kids who don't really have understanding of how to negotiate conflict. Not from college students. Like, by that point, you should already well know better. Anyway. And then he put on the jacket he was holding and started to leave. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy. He just gave him a light, gentle shove to the chest. Well, and why is he just laying there? Did he hit his head on the ground or something? And when he did that, there was no severed cable anywhere to be seen. Right, there was nothing like that at all. And yeah, you really have to be careful about that kind of stuff IRL because, yeah, like I said, if someone hits their head on the ground, like, people have gotten into legal trouble over that in, like, sports games and stuff. But is it possible that you merely overlooked it? Well, I guess it's possible. What are you doing? Don't let that guy steamroll over you like a cheap asphalt. I believe what's important here is the moment the push occurred. Power lines definitely would have been noticeable, especially if they were just hanging down like that. Let's continue on with the testimony. Like, again, that seems like a more of a university issue to me. Like, how was that not contained? I heard some kind of loud noise. Hold it. What would you say the loud noise was? Not sure. It was really loud. It was like snap. You know, come to think of it, I wonder what it was. Well, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted. Objection! You're not qualified to decide that. How would anyone know that? What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. Ask for more details. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. Try to remember what it was. How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Could it have been? Yes, could it have been? Hurry up and tell us. When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. Again, I would not expect... He fell right on top of it and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard. An umbrella, huh? And did that umbrella belong to the victim? I mean, how would that even happen? Like, you're falling backwards. I don't know. It was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. I mean, even if you were to fall on the umbrella, I don't see how that would have happened. Unless, again, it was like at a certain angle. And even then, like, what? I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone. Mr. Wright, what do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now? Of course it's important. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, the cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. I want to officially have it entered into the testimony. How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy boy. Court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add the bit about your cheap umbrella to your testimony. After I shoved him, he fell down on top of his cheap umbrella. I started to get worried, but I went back and he was dead. After you shoved the victim, did you leave the scene right away? Yes, I did. I admit it. Curious. Not without even checking Mr. Swallow's condition. I mean, most, like, let me make sure I can elaborate this correctly. And not sound like Porky Pig. Pushing someone definitely seems juvenile and immature, even under the circumstances. But even so, when you push someone, I would say 9 times out of 10 they're going to be able to get back up. Especially if they're like a young guy in college. Like, it doesn't seem like most people would be able to just stand right back up. Even if you pushed them like max strength. Max strength. I got worried about him later. So I went back, but he was just lying there. I hold it. At that time, do you see anyone else at the scene of the crime? Off cop, nope, nobody. Could that stupid cop possibly get any funnier? In that case, it's very hard to believe someone else could have been murdered. Unless we could find something that shows his innocence from that testimony, my dear. Where the judge will make his final decision with no remorse whatsoever. Yes, sir. Right now I need more information. I thought that will help me find some contradictions. So I need to press this other button. Yeah, this one. Mr. Swallow fell on top of his umbrella. You're certain of this? Yeah, it was right there under. Actually, if it hadn't been under him, I was planning on borrowing it for myself. The umbrella, you mean? You see, I was wearing the sweater here. I mean, assuming he would let you borrow it. Dolly stayed up late for nights at a time, knitting upon it. He didn't want the rain to dampen the handmaid's symbol of her love. Oof, my stomach is not used to as your personal soccer ball, Mia. I'm so sorry. I tend to get physically abusive when I'm nervous. Continue on with your testimony. Right. Right. So I need to present this, right? He wasn't by his umbrella. That's the thing, he wasn't by his umbrella. It shows it's bent, but why didn't you even testify about the umbrella from the very beginning? Come on, if I had mentioned that, I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier. What do you mean by that? You can only look at the crime scene photo. Yeah, the umbrella's not even next to him. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is still open. And yeah, it's also nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole. Absolutely right. The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive. Again, most people would still be alive. I don't think there would be anyone, actually, who would just spontaneously die after being pushed. Sounds ridiculous. Order! Victor, he moved? Mr. Perry, the umbrella in the soda, where is it now? Well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene. The one that presented its evidence immediately. Umbrella, owned by the victim, found broken near an electrical pole at the crime scene. Umbrella added to the court record. But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind. Objection! According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind. So he was pushed down and he had an umbrella. Most umbrellas are sturdy enough where even if you fell on top of them, they would still maintain their shape. And at which point the wind could technically still blow it around. I'm not going to try it for you all to see, but if you fall on top of the umbrella, it might break the umbrella, but it'll still maintain its general shape. I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively true, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment. No! I don't know. I must say, I find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony. Phoenix's testimony added the court record. The victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud sound when it happened. Hold on, Mia. Yes, the umbrella the whole time. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about? Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. It was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone. Afraid I don't follow what you're saying. Really, there's no evidence at all connecting Phoenix to the death of the young man. He pushed him, but I mean, even with that, you would have a very difficult time making the case that he's guilty of murder. I'd say it's more than a stretch. That's like a giant leap. That's a huge gap. Like, let me guess. You have another witness. Exactly, and this witness's testimony will be incontrovertible. Well, who is this witness? It's Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly? I do, Your Honor. The defendant's very own lover is witness to the whole thing. That's right. She was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. What? So at least she would be able to corroborate the story and, make the case that Binks wasn't actually the killer. He just died after making contact with an open source of electricity, essentially. I'm trying to break the bad news to you, Mike. Bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this. You can't be serious. Yeah, what do you mean by that? This is a good point for us to stop at. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hall. April 11th, 11:52 a.m. District Court, Defendant Line Number 3. I'm gonna have to take a quick break, guys. I think we're halfway through the episode, right? Oh, shoot, we're already at an hour point? Let me see if this is the end of the episode. Hold on, Miss Faye. I'm sorry about what happened back there. It's alright. At least you told us the truth in the end. That's right. Yeah, so I guess I can start to relax it, huh? Relax, my boy. You can't be serious after hiding such important facts. But the next witness is my Dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will. How do you think that? What do you mean? She's the love of my life, that's why. Love of your life. Would you mind telling me more about you and Miss Dolly Hop? Sure, no problem. Dolly and I, we first met about 8 months ago right here in the courthouse. What? Let me be the lawyer on the side. Anyway. One day, she and I bumped into each other heading downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. As soon as I set eyes on her, I knew he was the one for me. Oh, here, take a look at this. Alright, yeah, let me be right back, guys. I was expecting this to be the end of the episode, but it just keeps going on and on. Hopefully these episodes aren't too long, and I don't have to do like a part 1, part 2 kind of deal. I like to treat the saves as the ending point of the episodes. So I'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. remember where I am. Okay. Alright. Let me move this up too, because it seems like I'm in action. There. Maybe up here would be better. Yeah, so I'm not like in the middle of it. You gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love. You've been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off. But before she gave it to me, she said, I want you to carry this. She gave it to you as her present, actually. Again, what does this have to do with the trial? I don't know. This darling little bottle is filled with the memories of my darling little dolly. Certainly is a little bottle, alright. Makes me so happy I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world. Dolly is present, borrowed from Phoenix Wright. Small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everyone. Anyway, so after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating. I mean, unless she used it to sprinkle tears on him and it helped him get electrocuted, I again don't see how this is relevant to the case. But she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing. Please give it back. A strange girl asking for a present back like that. By the way, Mr. Wright, the day you first met Dolly Hawthorne 8 months ago, it happened to have been on August 27th, would it? Huh? Yeah, it was. How'd you... This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse. What's this, a newspaper clipping? Let's see. Murder in the courthouse. Murder? What are you reading there? Let me see that. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think I understand what you've been trying to say. I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. I believe there's some connection between these two cases, am I correct? Newspaper clipping added to the court record. Article from 828, almost 8 months ago. Newspaper clipping. Hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossenberg. I need to finish this myself. Yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I won't have to look downstairs reading the room and see what else I can find. Thank you. I'll do whatever I can to be of help to you. Well, it looks like recess is about over. We better all get moving. Dude, these episodes are freaking long. Maybe not as long as the last game, but that recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though. In olden times, when... Okay, yeah. I was about to say, like, when you go on recess, that's the end of the episode. Okay, we're going to save it over to third place. Alright, turnabout memories. Okay, whew. Alright, guys, that was a doozy. So, first impressions. So far, it's pretty cool how this game kind of shows you the backstory. It shows you some of the familiar characters, a younger Payne, a younger Mia, which is definitely cool to see, younger Grossberg even, all characters, again, from the original Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. You could also see that playthrough here on my channel if you're curious and want to look through that playthrough. Uh, it's cool to see those characters again, and it's cool to see them at that stage. I'd say every character I am uh, both pleased and impressed by, with the exception of Phoenix, who seems, I'll be honest, he seems dumb in this. Like, he seems very immature, foolish, misguided, juvenile, yeah, whatever word you want to use. Like, he's lying to his defense attorney, he's bragging about his relationship, like someone who just got out of, like, Cupid Town, as we call it. Like, he's, um, yeah, acting like a complete clown, if you ask me. And the whole, like, mask thing, like, what was that about? Like, I honestly do not know what they were thinking. Like, Phoenix Wright as a college student should have been more stoic. Because he, like, in the last two games, as an attorney, like, he does not clown around. He does not mess around. There are times where you can kind of see his lack of confidence show when he's having his asides, or you can kind of see past the facade a little bit. But even still, I would say it is still the case that he is a reasonable attorney and a good attorney. And you wouldn't know that based on this playthrough so far. Like, it wouldn't seem that way based on his portrayal that he would ever make a good attorney. But we'll have to see where the game goes after this. I mean, it might shoot back to the present, back to the future. I don't know. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you just so happen to be checking this out or watching this. Donations can go to Venmo Stormer Show for those with the willingness and means to do so.